You got some breeze to push those tears back in.
Okay. I need to take a breath. Garren, as a little girl, I've dreamt about this day my entire life. I practically had every detail. The colors, the dress, and the cake. But there was always one detail that I could not get right, and that was who I was walking down the aisle to. It felt like a missing puzzle piece I could not find. That is, until I met you. I will never forget the day we first met. You were walking up to my parents' house, wearing your turnish shirt, Husker hat, and holding a bouquet of red carnations. In that moment, something told me you were going to be a big part of my life. It almost seemed as though God sent me a sign saying, this is it, and this is the one.
Josie Marie Anderson. As wild as that sounds to call you my wife, it's even more wild we get to do this life together. As time grows old, just as our little 2-year-old boy does, it wasn't that long ago that we fell into love for the first time. Like your senior prom, that when your brother met me at the door with a baseball bat. Or the time I took you to our special spot on the hill to stargaze and watch the storm roll in. Just as there's good times, there will be tough ones as well. I promise to care for you and our children in times of sickness. I vow to put our family first in all circumstances. I promise to treat you like a gentleman, even when I'm weak. I vow to keep our family in faith with God as He can get us through thick and thin. I promise to build that house on the hill and fill it with beautiful children. Through these promises are great. I can't wait to see what God has in store for us. This life we have now is great, and I can't imagine doing it with anyone else. I love you. Yes, I promise.
Good. Yeah, those are good. Looking back, I didn't realize how big of a piece you were going to be in my life. From that moment, it's always been you. You're the one that makes me laugh and holds me when I cry. You're always someone I can count on to be there when I need you. You continue to help me grow into a better version of myself every day. In you, I found a partner in life, a lover, a friend, a safe place, and someone I can be my ugliest and most vulnerable with. Thank you for embracing all of the things that make me, me. Most importantly, thank you for being the best father I could have asked for Ashton. You make him laugh and you hold him when he cries. And I know you'll always be there for him when he needs you. I could not have picked a better man for our children to look up to. Going into our marriage, I promise to always love you, to always put your love first, and to be honest and faithful to you. I promise to laugh at all of your jokes, and even the ones that are only kind of funny, and to support you with your dreams, even if that means losing a spot in the garage. I promise to choose adventure over tradition and to walk with you instead of alone through life. But above all, I promise you all of me and all of me forever. I love you. Me and all of me forever. I love you. Okay, keep it.
So Garren and Josie, we've been preparing for this day for a while, but apparently not until last night did I find out that I've been saying your name wrong for a year. Thank you. Thank you for helping me out with that. I appreciate that. So if I slip into Josie, it's her fault, not mine. But today's finally here. How you feeling? Right? There's been a lot of preparation for today. There's been a lot of excitement. There's been a little bit of anxiousness, but we're here, right? We're here. Don't forget to bend your knees, right? No one's passing out on my watch. But as I looked at those Bible passages that you two picked out, there were 3 words that stuck out to me in those passages. Love, commitment, and faithfulness. And through talking with you two, through hearing your stories, through getting to know you better, love happened very quickly in your lives. Josie, you even said it was love at first sight, at least first in-person sight, right? With your trucking t-shirt, your Husker hat, and your red carnations, right? Love was there very early on.
Full disclosure, I wrote this speech in the airport yesterday, and then I finished it this morning. So, in the midst of graduating and moving to Texas and starting optometry school, that was kind of the only time I had. So while I would love to blame my procrastination of life events, the reality is I have known that I was going to be Josie's maid of honor for as long as I can remember, so that's really not an excuse. I remember having in-depth conversations in grade school about what this day would look like. We talked about what her colors would be and what her Prince Charming would look like. And Garren, you're kind of close, so.
But the commitment wasn't quite there yet, right? Through a number of circumstances, through differences in your lives. You guys went in separate directions, right? After you graduated high school, you went separate directions for about a year and a half. But then God worked things together in your life for both of you, that it was time to come back together. And so just under 2 years ago, right, October 18th of 2020, love led to commitment, right? And so Garren, on one knee, you guys committed yourselves to each other. And so then we can fast forward to today, right? September 3rd, 2022. Love and commitment lead to faithfulness. Right?
Josie and I had talked about this day. We had talked about this day since before we were allowed to date, and according to Dad, that was the right age of 30, so we did not make it that far. All this to say, I procrastinated this speech because it had been over a decade in the making, which was a lot of pressure. So rather than have you listen to me ramble on for 30 minutes about telling embarrassing stories about how much we didn't like each other in our childhood, I will just share one of my favorite stories. So, like many kids in Nebraska, Josie and I detasseled in middle school. And obviously Josie's a couple years older than me, so she was always in the field longer than I was. And a particular day, she had been out maybe an hour or two longer than I had, but I had to wait in the shade. So when she got done, she immediately said, "I'm showering first." And I said, "No, I'm showering first." And so I had talked enough crap in the car that there was not a mad dash to the shower. I simply pranced there while I listened to Josie threaten to flush the toilet, which would make the shower water very hot. And I said, "Do it. It'll just make me take longer. And if you want to shower that bad, there's a hose in the backyard." So if you ask Josie, I wasn't her favorite person growing up because I tormented her like it was my job. So Josie, to make up for a childhood of knowing how to press your buttons, I'll just wrap this speech up by giving you some sisterly advice rather than press a few more buttons. So here goes. It's a blessing to have someone to spend the rest of your life with, so be kind to each other and celebrate each other through your highs and uplift each other through your lows. Remember that God is walking with you and this relationship, so you can always turn to Him for guidance. And lastly, I am always a phone call away if either one of you need a come to Jesus moment, aka an ass chewing.
So because of Jesus' love and faithfulness and commitment to you, Josie and Garren, you too can love each other. You can be committed to each other, be faithful to each other. So before we transition into our vows, Josie, I want you to turn and hand off your flowers, right? You practice it. And I want you two to turn, to look at each other and hold each other's hands. And we're going to try out the Old English because it's way more fun. So, Garren, I want you to repeat after me. Josie, I love you.
I love you.
I am committed to you.
I am committed to you.
And I plight thee my troth.
I plight thee my troth.
See, isn't that fun to say?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, all right. Josie, your turn. Garren, I love you.
I love you.
I am committed to you.
I am committed to you.
And I plight thee my troth.
And I plight to you my troth.
Right? See, now you will never forget the faithfulness, the troth that you have committed to today. And this is no small commitment, but with Jesus, it is not only possible, it is wonderful because He has already done it all for you.
I'm nervous.
I'm so nervous. I'm like shaking. Okay. Everyone ready? I don't know if I'm ready. Yeah?
Yes.
Is it what you expected?
Yes.
Yeah. You can't kiss me because you don't
I know.
lipstick. You look so good. The colors look so good. You like it?
Yeah.
Is it what you expected at all? It doesn't have sleeves.
No, it doesn't have sleeves. I thought you would have sleeves. I love it.
Yeah?
Yeah. I can't cry because my makeup.
Oh, that's fine. I already cried. I tried not to cry in
I
the
was
car.
like, I'm not gonna cry yet, but I think I'm sure.
Do you think so?
Probably.
Sorry.
Take Josie's ring. Place it on her finger, and as you do, repeat after me. Receive this ring
Receive this ring
as a pledge and token
as a pledge and token
of wedded love and faithfulness.
as wedded love and faithfulness.
Told you it wasn't. And then Josie, repeat after me as you place that on his hand. Left hand, right?
Yes.
One with the watch on. Okay.
It's my fault.
Receive this ring
Receive this ring
as a pledge and token
as a pledge and token
of wedded love and faithfulness.
as wedded love and faithfulness.
Garren and Josie, you have now just sealed your relationship by the giving and the receiving of rings as this pledge between two people who agree that they will commit themselves to one another throughout their lives. Today you join two separate lives together. Those two separate candles symbolize your separate lives, your separate families, and your separate sets of friends. They also represent all that you are and all that you ever will be as an individual. They also represent your lives before today. But the lighting of the center candle then represents that your two lives are now being joined together as one. You belong to each other. Right? I plight thee my troth. So then as these two individual candles are extinguished, this represents that your lives are now with each other and with the true light of the world, Jesus.
Won't give up, won't give in. Take everything we have and let the new begin. Take everything we have and let the new
Who gives this woman to be married to this man?
Her mother and I do.
Well, now that Garren and Josie have committed themselves to each other in holy matrimony, have given themselves to each other by their solemn pledges, and have declared the same before God and these witnesses, I pronounce them to be husband and wife in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. And it is now my privilege to introduce to you for the very first time, Mr. and Mrs. Garren Anderson.
For those of you who don't know me, I'm Brandon Anderson. I'm Garren's little brother. I'm honored to be Garren's best man. I know there were a lot of other options, clearly, so I'm not saying they were good, but there were options. So I appreciate him giving me this opportunity. So when I think of my childhood and memories with my brother, I remember a lot of laughing. One time in specific, I remember coming home from school, I was probably around 6th grade, and Garren was pretty excited about eating some chips and salsa, right? So he walks into the kitchen. All right, we're gonna pretend this is a salsa right here. He grabs the literal biggest jug of salsa we have in the house, okay? Yeah, it was paste picante sauce, medium, for those of you who like the details. And he takes it, he's like, it literally blows all over the kitchen. It's okay, I'm gonna give you a visual here. So there's a little cabinet overhead, it went all over the counter and underneath the floating cabinets. And he was like, he's just looking around, he's like, God, he's like, Brandon, like, please don't tell Mom about this, but I knew she was already on her way, so.
If you don't mind, let's cheers the happy couple. This is the first day of the rest of your life, so let's make it a night to remember. So cheers.
We're so happy to have Josie in the family. You look beautiful today, and I can't thank you enough for choosing him. So let's cheers to the bride and groom.
You are the best thing that ever happened to me. When you hold me, I know that I have everything. It's blue skies and big dreams, billion places to explore. And I will be with you forever. hopeless now that we're together. Oh, the whole world opens up when I'm with you. In you I found a love that sets me free. You are the best thing that ever happened to me. When you hold me, I know that I have everything. It's blue skies, big dreams, a billion places to explore. And I will be with you forever. Forever I am yours. Forever I am yours. You have found the love that sets me free.